Roger DeCoster, was a tough 2022, but 2023 you finally got the win with Cooper Webb and Aaron Plessinger back on the podium for KTM as well. You must be relieved and really happy to get that.
Yeah, it was time for our team to get a result like this, and now we're back in the hunt. You know, there's only a 4-point gap between first and Cooper in third, and 2 points between us and Chase Sexton. So we're back in the hunt now.
And how much work has went into getting this bike Supercross ready and winning? And Cooper, even on this heat race, he even said himself it wasn't good enough, it was awful. How did you get him to change that performance up?
The main thing is in this sport is still the rider, you know.
Yeah.
And we can do a little bit to help the rider, and of course the bike has to stay together and all that. But all the bikes are pretty good these days, and the rider is the one that makes the difference.
And what are your thoughts on Tom Vial? He's been pretty impressive his first 2 races, 2 different rides as well, but he seems to be learning quickly.
Yeah, it's you know, people don't realize how tough Supercross is these days, and he has never raced Supercross in his life before he came here, and he's doing really well. His attitude is good. He's a hard worker, and he doesn't come up with any excuses, and he realized that he has to get better in technique and learn Supercross. And I hope we can get him through this season without injuries and get to the nationals in good health, and then build his confidence, and then next year he will be ready to fight it out in Supercross as well, I believe.
And the Belgians are starting to produce a lot of good riders again, Liam Everts and Jago Gertz obviously, but the Coonan brothers, I'm sure you know all about them now.
Yeah.
They've expressed, I was speaking to them and their dad, they're trying to come to America very soon. Have you put that in motion?
Yeah, there's some new hope in Belgium, which I'm really happy about, and you know, Liam, like you said, he is getting better and better, and the Coonan brothers, you know, from everything that I hear, is there for real, and yeah, there's hope.
Just on your experience of all the riders you've seen in the world that you've raced, that you've managed, and who are the greatest riders that you feel have been in the sport? You've worked with Ricky and Bale and the likes of Everts. What makes them so great?
I've been lucky to have worked with lots of really good riders, and you know, I am from the firm belief that a champion, a dominant rider in one generation would do the same thing if he was grew up in the next generation or the generation before, winning and champions. It comes from the mindset, and willing to do the work and willing to do whatever it takes to get there. And that changes a little bit over generations. You know, today the riders got a lot more support than in my generation, but there is also a lot more pressure with different things. So it's all relative, and like I said, I really believe that the difference between the good riders and the ones that win multiple championships is the mindset and the will to do the work.
And is there anyone even on your team that reminds you of yourself in terms of your mentality? Because you're still a winner, you still want to win it after all these years.
That was so long ago. No, you know, like I said, it was so different. You know, in my generation, you had to organize your trips yourself. You had to take care of your visas to go to the East Bloc countries, and you know, you had to drive from Belgium or from England or from Ireland. It took a week drive to go to Russia to the GPs there. So the only training that we did is along the road through Germany, Romania, Hungary. We had somebody else drive the car, and we would jog for 5 miles or so on the side of the road and then jump back in the car and keep going. You know, that was how it was, but that's what you had to do then. And now it's different. You know, they get to ride 4 or 5 days a week sometimes, and they fly in and the bikes are there ready, the mechanics are there. There's somebody that's there to prepare the food and all that. So some of the things are easier, but some of the things are also a lot more pressure because there's a lot more eyes on them. The bikes, the rider cannot say I was wide open in third gear because, and if it was not so, because we can look in the ECU and we can see exactly how far the throttle was open, what gear they were in, what speed they were going. You know, so it's not any easier.
You got a lot of big crowds back when you were racing. I've watched some old videos, the places were packed. How much of a thrill was it to ride in front of such vast audiences at an outdoor venue? And you were obviously one of the star attractions as well.
Yeah, you know, it changed a lot. The biggest crowds were in Eastern Europe and Russia, you know, at the time. And we had good crowds in Belgium and so, but maybe in Western Europe the best crowds were in France and Italy. I really enjoyed racing in Italy because the fans were so into the racing, and they still are today, and we used to have big crowds down there.
Regarding riding styles, who do you like watching the most? Do you like watching a Jean-Michel Bale, a Stefan Everts, who are so smooth, or do you prefer watching a really aggressive rider like a Ricky Carmichael? What do you get most enjoyment from, just a fan point of view, watching?
I enjoy all the differences, you know, like it's fun to see a Barsha to ride with, like really a lot of commitment and all that. And it's funny because he is, you know, when you see him in the week and you talk to him, he's one of the nicest kids, you know, that you can meet. But once he puts on a helmet, he becomes a different person, you know. And Stefan was fun to watch because he was so smooth and looked like he was going slow. Yeah. But if he took a stopwatch, then you realized how fast he was going. And you know, Ricky was fun because you always you went to a race with him. You always were practically certain that he was on the podium. Yeah. And Bale was fun. He was the first rider to blitz the whoops in Supercross, and he would do things completely different from that time. And he was, you know, after the Americans really took over motocross and Supercross, he was the first European rider that was able to beat the Americans. And so that was, you know, fun to watch what he was doing and how he was doing it, and his mentality. But yeah, they're all different. And Cooper today, he's fun to watch because when he's on, and you know, he can push himself at the end of a race like not many people can do, you know, or not many riders have been able to do.
Finally, Roger, just on Jeffrey Herlings, you've worked with him a little bit over here when he done that race in America. He's coming off a year of injury. What are your thoughts on him as a rider, his mentality, and also how difficult it's going to be maybe to win this year after injuries, which I'm sure you know from experience what it's like?
Jeffrey always seemed to have the speed. He never seemed to have lost any speed after an injury or so, and I hope that he can race without too much hinder from his foot, from his old foot injury. And from what I hear is that it's a lot better. It still bothers him a little bit, and hopefully that goes away when the championship starts. And if he's able to race, I think Jeffrey will always be able to push himself to battle for the win.
Is his mentality similar to Ricky's, where they just want to go and dominate? Did you see any of that similarity?
He's just can push himself, you know, to go that little extra that it takes to do whatever it takes, you know.
Thank you, that's brilliant.